Hello, happy evening. Happy Friday, February 26th. And it is the day after Thanksgiving. And it's also Metaphysical Communion, Turkey Time Chronicles. I am your host, DeAngelis Colon, and tonight we're going to have an evening of spot readings for the audience out there. And we're just getting started. I hope everyone's holiday has been wonderful. I know mine certainly was busy with a lot of cooking and a lot of surprises that happened along the way. I'll say more about that later on because that's part of our program. After all, it's about stories and tales and things from the past, the present, the future. And we're just waiting for an audience to come in and join us this evening on Facebook Live. And hopefully we can do some meaningful spot readings for the holiday for those of you out there tonight. Anyway, I'm going to be checking in on Facebook itself because right now I'm on Zoom. So let me look into Facebook itself and hopefully things are working right and that people can, as always, and hopefully, see me beautifully on visuals in front of your computer screen, and especially that you can hear and understand what I am saying through audio. As I said, it's always surprising. You never know what to expect or what could happen. So it's up to you to let me know if everything is 100% working right. So I'm going to be checking in not only on my computer, but as well on my cell phone, since I've learned from previous experience that this is the best way to deal with things here, using a secondary or third source to make sure that things are working correctly. And so far, the last 2 times or so that I've been on, that has seemed to be the case. Let's see. Now, I should have audio somewhere. At least I know on Zoom I do, but perhaps on Facebook I do not. So let me crank up the audio now on Facebook, and now you should be able to hear me. Okay, because I just noticed that I didn't have the audio up on Facebook, but I did have it on Zoom. But since we are on Facebook, that's where the audio counts. So let me start once again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday, November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving. And this is Metaphysical Communion, number 12, Turkey Time Chronicles. I am your host, DeAngelis Colon. And we're here to do a night of spot readings for the audience out there and also tell stories and tales from the past, present, and future about things pertaining, to this holiday season, memorable occasions, interesting things that happened, funny things that happened. So I'm just here waiting for an audience to join me and hopefully ask your questions so I can tune into spirit and provide to you the messages that they will have for you this evening. I'm here already and I can feel energy is starting to, be apparent as I'm even speaking about this, which is the reason why we are here. So obviously the door is open to spirit and I'm opening up to spirit more and more as we speak. And we will have a connection going for all of you out there this evening. So my hopes is that number one, of course, that we are going for all of being connected here. I'm just checking on my third source here. My hopes is that number one, of course, and see, who's out there joining us here this evening. Okay, very good. So I see that one person apparently is seeing me already. I just got a notification. That's very good. And that means I'm being heard very well. I just checked my cell phone, which is one of my secondary sources, besides, Facebook Live itself, because I've learned from previous experience that I have to check to make sure that everything's running okay, through either Facebook itself or through my cell phone, especially to make sure that all connections are 100%, correct. And it looks at this way it is. So I'm just going to wait for questions to come in, and hopefully I'll get to see them, here. And let me have a look and see. I'm going to see if I can connect in another way here. And open up the screen a bit. There we go. Okay, very good. That's working. Really nice. And bright. And I'm going to connect right into my page itself. And I think that's where I'm going to get to see the comments that I'm hoping for. And there they are. And welcome, Stephen. Good to see you. It's been a while. And at this point, the questions that I am taking pertain or should really be focused on the holiday season itself and on any question that you have relating to this particular Thanksgiving holiday, something from the past, someone that perhaps you'd like to connect with, that you have a memory of, regarding Thanksgiving, who may be on the other side, and see if we can reach out to them and see if they can provide some information for all of you out there. So, people that you miss, that you like a connection, we hopefully can establish a link with them. Cannot guarantee anything as always, because it's up to Spirit. It's not up to me, after all. Whoever comes in or whatever comes in is what comes in. They are the ones who decide, after all, not me. I'm just here being the open channel to receive. It is always Spirit that decides what information, what messages come through. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what we're doing this evening. Hello, Valerie. Nice to see you as well. Thank you for the confirmation. Everything's, working okay. And we're here. So we're going to build up a nice audience this evening, just in time, for our event. So I'm going to begin with a story of my own, just to get things cracking. And as I said earlier, it was an interesting and busy Thanksgiving for me. I hope that it was a good Thanksgiving for all of you out there, and that, everything came through beautifully for you, that your dinners turned out right, that you enjoyed yourselves, that good experiences came to you. If you have anything from the paranormal, spiritual that may have happened to you yesterday or the few days leading up to yesterday or even today relating to this time period, please let me know. We would love to know, about connections that happen for all of you. The holidays are always a very strong time where Spirit is strongest in presenting information, making wonderful, incredible things happen, around you. Those who are on the other side have an extra energy to come through for you and give you messages, give you signs, show you something that lets you know that they are there, that they're watching over you, that they are with you, especially at this time. Holidays do that because holidays are emotional, and high emotion helps to raise your vibration, and that helps them to bring down their energies as well, so that they can establish a good connection. So that's how that functions, there. Anyway, let me start with a story, from me, as I said a moment ago, just to get things going. So what we're going to do is talk about yesterday's experience, which had the unexpected. Once again, I get a lot of unexpected experiences happening with me, from Spirit. And it was very fascinating to see that yesterday, Thanksgiving Day itself, something unexpected and wonky, for lack of a better way of saying it, that happened, here at home. So here I was in the morning, and I had just finished breakfast, anticipating a busy, morning and early afternoon with cooking and preparing things. I made the turkey, so I had prepared it the night before. So it was all in the refrigerator, all marinated, all seasoned, ready to go, just to get into the oven. So there I was, just about ready to get started, with that, portion of things. When I step into the kitchen again, and I noticed there's water on the floor. I said, gee, what's that? Where'd that come from? I was here good like half an hour before that, having my breakfast, and everything was normal. Everything was fine. No indication of anything. I had, washed the dishes, put things away, and left the kitchen just to prepare myself to get started for the day, for the day of cooking, etc. And I come back, and all of a sudden I look down and there's water on the floor. So what is this? And I said, where did this come from? Trickling from the sink all the way to the other side to the refrigerator. So I'm looking at this, something's going on here. So I opened the refrigerator door because that I thought was the first problem. And whenever there's things, with ice melting or the refrigerator temperature not working right, even though our refrigerator works beautifully, it usually indicates water, usually can indicate the freezer perhaps, or the refrigerator. So I opened the doors to the refrigerator, everything is fine, no problems there. So I'm wondering what could have happened here. Maybe I spilled something before, I don't realize it, but that's a lot of water. So I look over to my left and I notice right by the cabinet, right where this, just below the sink, there's a little bit of water trickling, from there. So I open the cabinet door and there's water, in there. There's two doors to open, from the sink, and there's a lot of water down there. Oh my God, something has happened to the pipes. So as I ran the water, I noticed, something more is happening here, and this is still dripping. So emergency mode. So immediately, I dried the floor, as best as I could. Luckily, it wasn't a big flood, but it was enough to cause concern because this does not happen. And I saw there was a lot of water inside the cabinet. So I had to pull out all the stuff that was in there, the pots, the pans, that's the storage after all, plates that we had in there, etc. And get that all out of there. See that there's a lot of water. And then I checked the pipes. So I look at the pipes and then things seem to be normal, but then I check underneath a certain pipe and sure enough, there is an opening. I said, oh my God, this pipe has just opened here. It's burst or whatever. Or it's just, I guess after such a long period of time, it just corroded in there. So there was a bit of a hole there. That, oh my God, Dios mío, unfortunately, this thing has decided to break right on Thanksgiving Day. Prior to that, no problem. There wasn't a warning, nothing. Everything was working normally. All of a sudden, the opposite happens. So luckily, as long as, I didn't run the water, no water was coming out. So at least it took care of that one there. So I knew it wasn't like a immediate emergency, because as long as the faucets were shut, no water was running through the pipes, no more flooding was going to happen. So what I did was immediately dry the floor as best as I could, got the mop out, got paper towel, dried the floor somewhat, took out all the pots and pans as I told you a moment ago, and then started, bailing the water, from underneath the cabinets. I got my pail and started, bailing water. So it's a good amount of water in that cabinet. But luckily I was able to get all of it out, and it wasn't excessive, like a big flood, luckily. And luckily not to worry that the neighbors downstairs were gonna get flooded. So that was a good thing, but still a worry after all. And, so that dried out a bit. I said, okay, everything's cool here. I got to postpone getting ready for Thanksgiving because I don't know what's going on here. I got to call the office to let them know that we have an emergency here with the water pipes. And I didn't do anything at that point besides that, because I didn't want to start preparing Thanksgiving, not knowing what's going to happen there with the sink. Who knows, a bigger emergency might happen all of a sudden. So I called the office, let them know this is happening. And a while later, the maintenance person came, checked everything. Yep. Oh my God. Yep. There's definitely a break here in the pipes. That's going to be a big job. So, we're going to have to tear that wall even and find out what's going on and put in some new piping. Imagine right on Thanksgiving Day. So I thought, oh my God, Thanksgiving is in jeopardy here. But sure enough, no, because he said, well, luckily it's just that one pipe. I think I can just patch this up temporarily. So it'll hold until we can get, after Thanksgiving, because nobody's working on Thanksgiving after all. People are on holiday, except for the emergency worker there. So he left, and so it's a spark of hope. And then sure enough, a while later, he and another worker came in. They patched up the pipe, and they said it would hold for the weekend because, again, day after Thanksgiving, everybody was off, so they weren't going to be able to get anyone to come and do all this incredible work, that's anticipated. But they put in the patchwork, put in the sealant. They guarantee this was indestructible. It will hold until Monday. So if you want, you can pursue what you need to do and get on, using the sink, etc. It'll be fine. And I can get on and do Thanksgiving dinner. Excellent. So they tested everything. No more water was dripping. Sink is working fine once again. But in all of that, it took about 3 hours total. Because by the time, I fixed everything and they came back again and fixed everything again, it was like a good 3 hours or more that was delayed. But it was done. And I was able to resume doing what I was going to do, which was start preparing dinner. So minor mishap right on Thanksgiving Day, when, of course, you don't want things to happen the most. That's when they happen, right on a holiday, for instance, when there's little help and people are off. But magic and prayers and salvation for the holiday for us here. And sure enough, my prayers were answered and the things were a go. So it was delayed, but it was done. And I had to crank it out. So I was cranking it up for a good 5 hours straight. Getting this ready, putting turkey in the oven, getting the sweet potatoes, the candied yams, doing the other stuff I was planning to do throughout the afternoon. So it was like endless activity, trying to make up for lost time. We had Thanksgiving dinner later than I expected, unfortunately, but we had it. And that's gratitude. I'm grateful for that, because we were able to have Thanksgiving after all and not have it, postponed or not happen, or having me to rush out somehow and get something outside at the last minute. And being the day as it is and having the coronavirus around still, not the best options after all. And with, rations happening and things more expensive, was not looking forward to that. But prayers were answered, gratitude is abundant, and everything turned out just fine. It was a busy day and crazy, but it was done. So there's a little magic happening there, gratitude, spirit, and things worked out. It could have been much, much worse, and it didn't turn out to be. So faith is prayers, help. So that's my contribution, for this evening's tale, of turkey. So there we are there. So let's see. So I've got someone here with a question. So that's our other purpose for tonight's, program, is to do spot reading. So let's get going. So, wonderful, Stephen. That's lovely to hear, and perfect that you found that yesterday. That is a message for you for sure. And a coin, house, that was meant for you. That was sent to you for a very special reason. So you have to look at that message that's saying there in the Bible, which I hope you did by now. Pretty much, I'm sure you did, and see what it says and see how that relates. What is the meaning of that message to you? How does it relate to what you're experiencing, to what's going on with you at this time? Perhaps something from the past, that this could be, being an answer to a guide, for something for the future. for you to contemplate and think about, also letting you know that Spirit is watching over you. You're not alone. And this is a message for you. This is the way they work. And for something as significant as this, with finding this coin with a message or a passage from the Bible, that is especially meaningful. So that is something you have to pay attention to and look at. And if the interpretation does not come through immediately, then you have to explore that and think about it, contemplate it, and see how it relates to you, what it means, for you. So very good. So we've got Michael here and Mary Lou, and we've got Valerie here, once again. So the messages are pouring in. Let me just open that up a bit more here so I don't miss any of the messages. And let's see. So Valerie, you'd like to know what grandma is around you or so. So we will see. Hopefully she will come through for us, this evening. So I'm just asking, for grandma, in some way and somehow to come through for you at this time, or perhaps a little later in the evening as we go along here. And I'm just asking for her to send a message, present herself, present her energy, here for you. And a message for one is a message for others, always at times. And just because not everybody gets read doesn't mean that, the message that comes through for one is just meant for that particular person only. It can be meant for a lot of other people, too. And we're just going to ask for that. And I feel a kind of, more gentler energy here, softer energy here coming through, around me. As I say this, generosity, also, as well, because I get a sense, that grandma would appreciate, this type of sentiment as a person, who giving, just of herself, and not just, to one for herself, but for others, and a nice, softer, gentler energy, coming through, here, with a calm and a peace and a great sense of serenity, coming through. And as we continue, we'll get more and more energy here, hopefully for a strong and perfect connection for you. And as we go along, let's see. We'll keep that going, Valerie, and see what else, comes through for you. Yes. Yes, Stephen, I'm glad that you did see that, and I'm glad that it made that connection for you. Excellent. Wonderful to hear. And happy Thanksgiving, Zia. Wonderful as well. Wonderful. Oh, how lovely that mother's birthday was yesterday. Oh, how appropriate, especially meaningful, for you guys, there too. And for sure, of course, they're always around, this time period. And actually, let's see, something about your mother's coming through a little bit more here. I see something about like a wreath of some kind. So for some reason, it's something about Christmas. And I see these thin reeds that almost form like a Christmas wreath, but very thin, going like this. I'm trying to pictograph it for you so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. And it tells me something about Christmas and these thin reeds that form like a Christmas wreath. And it's about Christmas. Something about that in some way that relates in some way. So hopefully that message comes through for you. Valerie, I'm getting more of a connection for you now, relating here to a softer feminine energy here. It has a lot of a very sweet and mellow, for lack of a better way of saying it, energy, coming through for you, because I was feeling this before. I was hoping to get more of a connection going. So we do have a smile here with a woman, a gentle smile, a great sense of serenity and peace and light. I'm seeing a lot of almost like a powder blue color around this for some reason, which is denoting a soft feminine energy here this evening. So that talks about that as well. and an unusual aroma for some reason. I can't quite articulate what this aroma is, but there is an unusual aroma for some reason. As I'm reading for you, Valerie, I just cannot make out the scent of what this is, but some of it relates somehow for you and for this energy that's here presenting itself, for you, which I'm feeling that is a female energy. I feel it relates to a grandmother in some way. It's an unusual energy. I can't stop like getting this strange aroma for some reason. It's kind of aromatic, kind of fragrant. It's kind of like a perfume-like thing, but not exactly either. It doesn't make sense to me because I've never had this scent before. So I don't know if that relates to your grandmother in some way, in some reason, some fragrant thing or so. It doesn't relate to you. I just can't articulate better or give you more specifics on what this actually smells like. That's the whole thing. But so it relates in some way. But there's a gentle smile coming from this person, from this energy. Gentle, calm, serene, always very, very, very stable. A person that doesn't get rattled by things easily. Remains calm, clear with situations, no matter what. Stability, very important in that way. And in this case here, presents a nice smile constantly. Doesn't say very much, but a smile. Sending a smile to you in that way. And that feeling of just taking everything with stride. Taking everything with stride. That's a message that she's presenting for you, to take everything with stride. Don't get in a state of panic over anything. Don't over worry about stuff. Do the way she did when she was here, which was take things in calm, try to be clear, present, rational, and taking it with a state of grace. So that is a sign of a message here that I'm being provided for you. Now, let's see, is for Zia here? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, very good. So she loved Christmas. Very good. That's why I saw, again, I'm seeing these very thin, reeds that would be in the form of a reed. Just very interesting. So I'm trying to make the symbol for you to get a better idea of what I'm seeing. So yes, you're welcome, Valerie. So hopefully if that behavior, that manner of being, of seeing things relates to your grandmother when she was here, that was her way of handling things on earth. This was her way of just being. Let me know, because that would give confirmation, not only for you, but for me as well, because that is the sense that she gives, to me, about having that type of personality, that type of character, with dealing with things, with being the person that she was when she was here on earth. So that's what I'm getting from here. So let me see if I can get more comments up and running here. And let me see, I'm going to have to zoom in on the cell phone to see what else is coming up here. Having that type of personality, that type of character. I'm just going to lower my media here because I don't want the cell phone interfering with what I'm saying. I'm having the volume too high. Let me see if anybody else has written in anything. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, very good, Zia. Thank you. I got it. Now that I have on the cell phone, I was going to pick up what you're saying. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. So we have that there, for you. Good. I'm glad that made sense. So indeed, your mother's going to be with you always, and with you and the rest of your family, because there was that, that connection, that strong connection always with all of you. And for the most part, you were all pretty, tight in that way, and especially you, obviously. And so she's certainly going to be around, and I can get a feeling that she's very alive and very active, on the other side. So she's not being someone who's like just taking it easy and coming through like this spirit that's kind of ethereal. Oh, it's not at all. I get a sense that mother is very active, very alert. She shows herself through her eyes wide open, showing alertness, vitality, and she's enjoying that because apparently for quite some time before she left here, she wasn't having that feeling, not being able to be that way, not being to feel so alive with strength and with action, vitality, you know, due to the nature of her illness. You know, she just didn't have that, but now she's like really strong and alive and active. Once again, once she has been in, who knows, since she was, you know, feeling fine here on earth. So just for you to be aware of that too. Yes, very good. And she presents to me here, which is interesting, wearing kind of like like reddish kind of pants or reddish hued, you know, colored pants, a bit to the ankle for some reason, a cute pair of shoes, a little bit of a heel, because she's very active. She's got like a kind of like a cardigan, the sweater, not a long one, kind of like a dark blue with some like print here, like almost like embroidered, like flowers or flowers here in reds and yellows, what I see here with the stem. Almost like one of those Christmas sweaters, the type of things, you know, with the stems with the leaves, you know, coming down, you know, to the end of the sweater. So that's her apparel. And her eyes are very bright and she's very alive and very alert. So just for you to know, and very busy. She's showing me that she's just walking almost or running, like she's very busy, very busy. So there's a lot of movement and activity with her on the other side, just for you to know, okay? So if that rings a bell in regards to the type of clothing that she's wearing or so, whatever, or her manner of being when she was here on earth, you know, let me know. That'd be good confirmation for you. And let's see if there's any other questions out there. I don't want to miss anybody here. Okay, so far we've got everything that we need over here at this point. Let me see. For Valerie, I'm kicking in on you a little bit again here. This is more one-on-one and personal. You know, here it's like for you, it's don't fall back on not doing too much in the next few weeks. Try to get yourself to become a little bit more busy. Try to do more things. Try to enjoy the holiday a bit more. Don't let things of the past or certain things that haven't come through for you, you know, kind of like bring you a bit like down. You know, it's really to focus on doing things that'll be good for you, that will keep you, you know, alert, that will help you to feel that you're being productive, that things will work out all right. Have more of a positive outlook on things. That will help snap you out of any kind of like a, let's say, sadness from the past, things that haven't come through that you would like to come through or so, that makes you feel, starts to weigh down a bit on you. So the things try to avoid, you know, that type of experience and keep yourself moving, keep doing what you need to do to make things happen. Interest yourself in doing things, enjoy the holiday season, find different ways that will liven it up for you, that will make it interesting, and that will bring a sense of joy, you know, for you, and positive outlook also for things, you know, in the present, but as well to come through for you in the future, you know, too. I see that for early next year, as they're kind of showing me here, there's the opportunity for you to take a trip, even if it's a small trip, but get out, you know, for 2 or 3 days, you know, somewhere else. And there's at least, or maybe longer, it could be a longer excursion, a longer trip for you. But that's something that wants to appear for you in the first half of 2022. So be aware of that. Perhaps you're planning something already now, or you're hoping that you can do something like take a trip, even if it's outside of New York City, you know, outside of here, just for something different, a new experience, to see new things. It is for a few days. You'll see, if that's already percolating in your mind, if you're thinking about that already, you're putting something together, or something's going to come through, because it seems that the first half of next year, there is that opportunity for you to get out of New York for a bit, do something different, see something new, new people, new experiences, even if it's for a few days. It would do you a wonderful world of good. And that is what has come through as well here, too. You might be connecting with someone that lives away from here, a family member or so in that case. And that might not be such a bad thing. It appears to be a male, from what I see here. So it could be a male family member that you might connect with. You might go to visit or to see, or that's nearby and connect in some way. Haven't seen each other in quite a while. Again, with the pandemic, a lot of people have not seen each other for quite some time, but it'd be good for you to get out of New York, for a little bit. It would make a world of difference for you. It's about getting yourself feeling more energetic and more like, just hopeful that things, are going to change for the better for you, that things will be all right, that new things will be coming your way. They've just been held back for quite a while. But as long as you make the effort and start doing something to help that along, then things start coming to you. As I always say, the more you do and the more effort you put into things to put out there, or things that you want to get or to achieve, and then the more it will start to work. It's reciprocal. And then it starts to happen. It starts coming to you. Ask and you will receive. And that's like the theme for you, for the next few months especially. Ask, do what you need to do, and see what comes, back to you. Now, let's see, Zia, what are you saying? No, Zia, I don't get a sense of that at all. There's no moving for you, certainly not for a long time. And I just don't see that happening now, for sure. And you're where you need to be at this time. And that's the most important thing of all. There will be changes for you, that is for sure. And the more you do, the more will come to you. So that's a good thing. And you've been making those changes already. And more to come. So keep putting your energy into that and building upon that. And as things open up a little bit more, as they are doing, more will start happening, for you. So it's about, moving forward in that way, generating more ideas, more creativity, more different things, to bring in more money, for you, number one. And that's the thing. And that can happen, but you're going to have to do some things to step a little bit out of the box, a little bit more once again, with certain ideas and certain things. So you're going to have to really do your creative things really, really big here, and do a few newer things, also. You're on your way already, which is good, but more is needed. So more is yet to come. So that's where you need to focus in more as you generate all of that. Then it starts, as I just said a moment ago, as you put out there, as you make the effort happen, more then starts to return to you, more starts coming to you. So be, alert to that. So that's going to be fine there or so. And things, should be going well health-wise for a number of people around you. So there should be improvement. So that's a good sign. Also, so things should be stable, there, too, where people will be doing what they need to do and just cranking it along, and things will start falling into place in a very good way there, too. So we'll look forward to that. Let me say, don't make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Let's see. Right, let's see. I'm just looking sure I don't want to miss anybody's comment or question here. Okay. Yes, I see what you mean, exactly. And that's indeed, a mantra that you can use for yourself, Zia. In a way, or it's not so much about that, it's try to do more. Let's call it that way. Yes, indeed. Try harder is good, but do more. Let's say expansion is the appropriate term or the appropriate mantra for you. Expansion in creativity. That's the correct mantra for you to focus on. And then watch what happens and watch how you manifest, from there. So as we're cranking it along, it's 10:18 already, it's incredible. And there we have Mary Lou. Okay, let's see, Mary Lou, thank you for that one. Okay, so Mary Lou, we're connecting with you once again here. Let's see. All right. All right, Mary Lou. Your health is stable, therefore stable for a bit, could still be better. I know that you would like to feel better from what I'm being shown here. So your energy is a little bit, I mean, you have felt better, but you have felt a lot worse too. So that's the first thing. So I know you're a little bit frustrated that you wish that you were feeling a bit better from what I am being shown here, for you. But just keep on doing what you need to do. Things will start to change, for you. I see a lot of ladies around you in energy here that are surrounding you here in spirit. There's 1, 2, 3 from what I see here immediately. So right away they kind of zoom in, and they're certainly, with you and supporting you along the way here. And you're not alone. They're helping, by being, helping you with your health, being nurturing in the way that they can, as they show me symbolically. So they're helping you to get up and running, here also. I see for some reason the symbol of a reindeer for some reason coming through. I don't know why, but it's coming through. And there's something with a reindeer here for you. So I know that, we're in the Christmas season, just the very start of it, but they're showing me a reindeer. So I don't know what this means. Perhaps this is significant for you in some way, because it feels that it relates to the past. And I see the image of a reindeer, and I see especially like the muzzle, and these harnesses, like, so it has this reddish like muzzle around it, and, and where you would hang on for some reason, the straps for some reason, and that this somehow relates to you in some way in the past. I don't know if it's because if it's a reindeer like in the form of like an ornament or some decorative thing that you may have, or something outside of the house that you put up that's symbolic, and for some reason they're kind of like reminding you of something that may have happened in the past relating to this. But for you, for some reason, it's way out there, girl, way out there. So so something that relates with family or some memory relating to this thing for some reason for you. So they're just showing that there's 3 ladies that are responsible for this, by the way. They seem to be having, it's humorous to them, let's put it that way. So they find this amusing for some reason. And Zia, okay, you got it, Zia, and Mary Lou, yes. So I'm taking that connects with you in some way. Okay. Your dad used to sell Christmas decorations. Wild. Okay, I see. So they're finding a sense of humor in this for some reason in particular. All 3 of them. There's something funny relating to this in some way. So that would be more for you to understand than they're just providing that message with the impression they give me that something funny happened relating to this reindeer thing in some way. And some big reindeer or something, whether fake or real or whatever, but it comes through in some way. So there's something humorous about this. And all 3 of them may have been alive years ago when this occurred. So they may have been actually there when this happened, from the sense of things that I'm getting. And the more I say that, the more funny it seems to be, the more right on target for what they're showing me or so. So it's something humorous for some reason. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying, relating to this. Hopefully this brings up the memory, or you remember something about this that's funny that everybody had. You found this very, very hysterical or funny, very funny for some reason. So here we go with that one. So I'm seeing that you're sending me a message. Okay, stuffed honey. Okay, a stuffed reindeer. That's what it was. Oh my God. Okay, That's the way I'm interpreting what you're telling me here. So that's what's coming through there. So anyway, it's just ha ha ha, very funny here with this stuff. So we got that there. Yes, you understand. Good. I'm glad. So that you have a lot of wonderful people of their spirit, helping you out. They want to bring joy, to you. They want to lift up your spirits. And this is the way they've provided, to do this. And because tonight I was focusing on, stories and things relating to the holiday, here we go. They're giving us a holiday theme, a holiday story for you, to remember. And hopefully it gives a smile to your face, as well, too. And you know why. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm glad the ladies are here, supporting you along the way. So this is very good. Excellent. Excellent. That's the whole reason why we're here this evening, after all. So we got our ladies over here. We got, Valerie's grandma, up there somewhere quiet, kind of reserved, but smiling, constant smile on her face the whole time. Constant smile, a nice, gentle, quiet smile, but broad as well. And apparently, grandma is letting me know, Valerie, if you're still there, that there's a resemblance between her smile and yours, or that your smile resembles hers. So let me know if that rings a bell for you, there, okay? Because that's the impression that she gives to me. Relationship, connection, close, there. And there, of course, is family relation right there by sharing a similar trait, okay? And yes, it does. Very good. So that's grandma's message there. The shared commonality, of family. That it's more than just memories. It's also, physical, DNA. And that it continues and goes on, and family goes on, and family is always connected. And whether we're here or there, there's always a connection with family and those that we love the most. It's timeless. It's interdimensional. It just continues, and it's always there, and it's never broken. That connection is always alive. And I do believe that's the main message here for you to hear this evening relating to grandma. That connection is always there. She's just as alive as she was when she was here, and just as strongly here with you as she was when she was physically here, with you. Always remember the connection, the family connection, the family link. It's never, ever going to go away. It's always there, permanent, unbreakable. The connection is forever, and it's just as alive now as it was before. And that's for you to know, okay? And I see like red cherries, dangling on some of the green leaves for some reason. Very Christmassy. All of a sudden I'm getting all the Christmas messages here. So it's a little dangling of cherries, dangling, from the air. So that relates to you, Valerie, or to someone else here. Let me know, okay? Because I see that visual coming through all of a sudden too. And it's sweetness. It just, represents sweetness and caring. A lot from the past to the present, and always to the future. We have something to look forward to, always. So we're getting a lot of messages that way for the holiday season, which is the strongest and best of all. So I'm glad we're getting something for everyone, something meaningful for everyone here this evening. And let's see if any more questions come in or so. Let me see. In the meantime, as questions come in, let's see if I can bring up another story to tell, for all of you here, relating to holiday past. Let me see. I remember my grandmother was alive. We used to have, Thanksgiving dinner at her home. And then here later on, when she got a bit older and, wasn't cooking as much anymore. But, we always spent, Thanksgiving together. This is my grandmother here in New York, who was my father's mother. Because my grandmother from my mother's side was in Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, they didn't really celebrate, Thanksgiving the same way that they do here, after all. Even though Puerto Rico is a territory, but, it didn't have the same meaning as being here on, in the continent, in the mainland, here. But they did celebrate something, but not to the same degree. My grandmother here, was a wonderful cook and always loved the holidays and to do her best. Is when cooking. She would always tell about the time a long time ago, I'm assuming back in the 1930s, that when my father was a little boy, And it was during the time where, of the Depression, if I remember correctly, or close at that time, where there was a lot of poverty, unfortunately, and people didn't have very much money. And if you know about the Depression, a lot of people were out of work. And there were a lot of things like soup kitchens and things that came up to help those who were in need. And it was a very difficult period during the 1930s or so. And at that period, they were living here. They were living, I do believe, in the Bronx, either Manhattan or the Bronx. And my grandmother always used to love to tell this story about, that one Thanksgiving where they couldn't afford, to buy a turkey. So what she did was, but she wanted to have something, because after all, my father was a little boy, and she didn't want him to be disappointed by not being able to have Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving turkey. So what she did was instead was that she bought a bird that is called a capon. And a capon, apparently it's kind of, I'm not really sure what it is, it's kind of a larger bird, also similar to a turkey or to a duck, or at least more similar to a turkey, but was more affordable, was more readily available. And so what she did was that she bought a capon instead, and then she just fixed it and dressed it up so it would look like a turkey. And then they had Thanksgiving dinner, and it was with a capon. And she didn't tell my father that it was not, a turkey. And he didn't know the difference. He said, here's Thanksgiving dinner. And they all had a wonderful, feast. And my father apparently loved, eating the bird, the capon, having no idea that it wasn't a turkey. And my grandmother did that, and because she was such an excellent cook, she managed to make that capon taste like a turkey. And and they had Thanksgiving. They had a good Thanksgiving, no matter what, no matter how hard the circumstances were, no matter how needing of money they were, whatever, but they managed to have a Thanksgiving nevertheless. And she never forgot that. And she would always tell that story, I think practically, or if not every year. So that's a Thanksgiving memory, a Thanksgiving story that I have. And I always remember, always, every year. And it had, sad circumstances as to why, but it had a happy ending. And that's one of the nicest things about that story, that despite the hardships and difficulties, it's how you handle things and how you can make things happen. And you can turn something that could be considered negative into a positive, and a nice positive. Everybody was happy. And that's what we have to do. We have to turn our unfortunate circumstances or disappointments into something that we know that we can take control of, and then we can do something about it, and we do have more control than we realize, and we can make a difference, and it changes things, and we can make things better. It's about your perspective, your attitude, and what you do, and the actions that you take to make things better. And that in itself is a message, to give to all of you out there. Turn, something negative or something disappointing into a positive, and the results can be just wonderful. So that's another story there for the holiday for all of you. Now let's see, I'm getting a few confirmations here. Let's see. Thank you, Mary Lou. I'm glad you liked that story. And Zia, let's see. Wonderful. So your niece hosted her first Thanksgiving. Wonderful. And I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Flaming Yams, huh? Who came up with that name? So anyway. Okay, so I'm glad her yams were flaming. I wonder why. Well, that's good to hear. And actually, talking about yams, a fire extinguisher was used. Oh my God, Zia, no. Oh my God. Well, I obviously things turned out well. You were able to salvage the Thanksgiving, obviously. And you were able to come through and laugh about it, obviously, afterward. So I don't know what she put in those yams, honey, to make that thing, blow up, but that must have been something special. It's so funny because I too, made yams for the first time yesterday from a recipe that I got from the internet. because about a week before at work, we had what was called a Friendsversary, and everybody brought in a certain something. Some people made stuff, some people just brought stuff. I made banana pudding. So I made Magnolia Bakery's banana pudding, and I have the recipe for that. And I can assure you it tastes exactly like the banana pudding they sell at Magnolia's Bakery. For those of you who are not aware, Magnolia Bakery is a very famous establishment here in New York City. In fact, it was featured on the show Sex and the City. And a number of times they filmed at the actual Magnolia Bakery. It's a very, front of the store. And it's known for its magnificent homemade pastries, its cupcakes, and its banana pudding. So, and indeed, it's wonderful. I've been there and those things are incredible. They do make everything scratch. And it is superb. So it has a wonderful reputation here in New York, and I guess throughout the country and the world because of Sex and the City, since it was featured several times there. So I love the banana pudding, so I decided to learn last year when we were here in lockdown how to make the banana pudding, which I did. It turned out just as perfect as theirs. So that's what I made, last week, to take to work for Friendsgiving. So banana pudding, and everybody loved it as well. And so I'm getting more into cooking because I want to just eat better. And also for me and my mother, and not rely so much on takeout and on frozen foods or whatever, not the healthiest thing in the long run. So I am learning how to cook, more and more now. And whenever mother can, she helps out. So at this point, I made, a friend of mine from work made candied yams, apparently Southern style. And they were stupendous, honey. Oh my God, everybody just dove into those yams to such an extent. She had a large, tray of them too. They were gone. They were completely gone by the end of the afternoon. So I managed to scrape what was left and bring home, some of that. And mother had them and just loved them, as well. They really were spectacular. So I decided, I'm going to learn how to make candied yams too. So I got a recipe from Soul Food Recipe on the internet, and I got the ingredients, and I made my own version of candied yams, and they turned out really, really good. So I'm very happy about that. They tasted wonderful, very close to my friend. Not as good as my friend because she's an expert after all, making those things for years. But considering that was the first time, try, they came out super well. We just had them before earlier, once again, for leftovers. So they were really excellent. So I'm looking forward to making them again in the future and learning how to make them better. So you see, you get one idea from somebody nice and you make something new, and positive things happen. Once again, wonderful new experience. I'm learning a whole wonderful new skill, cooking. So here we go there. Now, Zia, what is it? Yes, Mary Lou, cupcakes, they are superb. If you ever get the chance to go to Magnolia Bakery here in the city, I think they have a few franchises somewhere out there where you live. If you can find one, I advise that you go. Try one of the malls. They may be located in a mall near you. So go to Magnolia Bakery. They are absolutely incredible. So Zia, let's see what's going on. Okay. The marshmallows ignited. Oh my God, okay. So her boyfriend panicked, huh? Well, I'm sure he meant well, but if you could have, gotten rid of the fire naturally, that probably could have been even better, because you could have had the yams really saved and had some real, let's say, well done marshmallows, which kind of like, those marshmallows you put over the fire. That could have been neat. Oh, well, again, we learn, from our mistakes. So next time, hopefully it'll be better. And she's able to do them right, and you can all enjoy them. Things that happen. Okay, Mary, you're very familiar. You know exactly what I was talking about. Excellent, excellent. Very good. So we're having a real nice night here, talking about from spirit, providing messages. They are around, as you could tell, as you could see, they provided their messages and their love for all of you out there. We're exchanging stories about Thanksgiving and holiday and funny things that happened and interesting things that happened. And good, I'm glad everything else was perfect. That's good to hear. So in the meantime, if anybody else is out there who has a burning question, wants to know something from spirit or for spirit, whether through psychic means, through spirit connections, put your questions out there. And now's the time to do it, because that's what we're here for this evening. It's about Turkey Time Chronicles, honey. We're chronicling a lot tonight. So this is a good thing. So we're all here having a good time here this evening. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. And it's an interesting program this evening. We're talking about things from spirit and things from earth, as well. So that's fun. And that's what the holidays should be about. It's about having fun, being with people that you love, having connections, memories from the past, things that happen now, hopes for the future, hopes that things do get better and that we're in a better place even, than we were this year. Certainly we were a lot better off than we were last year. At least a lot of us were able to get together, where last year we weren't. We had to do that obviously through Zoom or through some other interface, through technology. But this year we were able more to be here, one-on-one direct. So that's a blessing. And that's to show a lot of gratitude right there, for that certainly. And let's hope and put all our energies out there that next year it'll even be better. And we'll be able to do even more and have more freedom and have things come back more to normal once again. And we'll be able to get out there and do all the things we've always wanted to do and we've had done in the past. And we look forward to doing them again in the future. And I do feel that indeed will happen. Again, it's just going to take a little bit longer than we had liked for it to be, but eventually things will come back, to be as it once was and even better, because we've all learned from experience. We've all learned what is really important and what matters. And we'll know how to appreciate more than ever before. We'll be able to have more gratitude than ever before. And that is a key word this evening here. It's about gratitude. And it's part of the holiday, being Thanksgiving. And it's about what's been happening with us in the last over year and a half, about being grateful for the good things that we have and grateful for the things that we've been able to get through in the past year and a half and more. And it's about becoming more real and more open as people and seeing what really matters as opposed to what does not. It's about, getting away from the superficial, from the things that really aren't so important, that we really don't need. We just think we do, but we really don't need a lot of that stuff. And we've certainly seen that in the last, year or so, that we didn't have a lot that we were used to before, but we got through it and we survived. And if anything, we got creative and we found other ways of doing things, other interests that were more meaningful, that were more personal. We found other ways to be creative, to think out of the box, to put our minds into things that were really more important, that really mattered, where we weren't doing that before. And that's the type of mindset, the type of perspective, and the type of way that we have to be, from now on. Is just focus and be present and really put yourself in what really matters, what really matters the most. And that's the most important thing of all. That makes you more of a real person, more genuine, and more open. And you'll feel lighter and better, too. So that is my hope, for, the future. And as things get more evolved and brighter, and as we see that as it exponentially is increasing, as we see with a lot of things happening lately, we have a very bright and incredible future ahead of us. And with a lot to look forward to, with a lot of marvels, to experience, things that 100 years ago people would not even dream of are starting to happen now, starting to manifest. And more is to come. So get ready for that. So that's a good thing. I'm just looking at the time here, and I do believe we've been on for a little over an hour at this point. So it's already 10:42. My time has flown as we've had fun. That old cliche saying. So let me see if anybody else is out there. Let's see. And Adrian Esposito. Hello, Adrian. Let's see. So you're going to be my last question for the evening. Let's see. Let me see. Right. Okay. Okay, Z, I got what you mean. Right. And well, listen to the message I gave you earlier, okay, because it relates to that. Now, as for Adrian, you're my last person this evening. So let's tune in for you, and thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving. And let me see, as we click in for you and see what Spirit can provide. So take a moment to focus on you. And let's see what Spirit has to say about that. All right, Adrian. What I'm seeing here is that you've been soldiering on, because I'm getting a visual here that relates to that in some way. You've been soldiering on, if you understand what I mean, by that phrase, throughout this, and just, being brave and chugging along there and doing the best that you can, through this experience. But holding on to see if things turn out better. And continuing to do that and waiting to see until you know for sure where you should go with this. And all I see is, Mia, at this point, where this is heading, and where this is going, and trying to do the best that you can to make things work, has been trying for you. And you continue to do that. You will continue to do that still, by the way. That's what I am being shown. That's what I'm seeing, for you. But you'll know when it's going to be time to say, enough. And that is what's coming your way. So yes, this will go on a bit more, but then you'll know when to say enough. And then from there, you will make your final choice, your final decision. It's coming. It's coming. It's not that far off in the future either, in regard to the situation for you. So be patient a bit longer, and you will know what to do. It's on you. You are the one who's going to make this choice and this decision. You will know how to handle this and what to do. It's all in your hands. And that's what I'll say to you about that. All right? That should be clear for you to understand. So on that note, peoples, it is now 11:15. So we're going to call this evening to a close. But thank you so much for joining me this evening here on Turkey Time Chronicles, as I call it. And indeed, that's exactly what it's been. And it's been a Thanksgiving to remember for sure. So I hope, as always, we thank the spirits that came through this evening to provide their guidance, their support for you this evening, and their love. They do love you, and they send all their warmth, all their caring to you always. They are always with you, not just especially strongest in the holiday, but always. But always remember that, carry that with you, and you will connect with them on your own by strengthening the connection yourself. And now the next few weeks, we're going to be holiday season here. So a lot more is going to come through. A lot more connections for you will be happening, because it's a high and strong emotional time for all of us. So we're going to be very connected with spirit for the next few weeks to the end of the year and beyond. So get ready and do that and focus on them, and they'll come closer to you. We will be doing more spot readings, throughout this holiday season, for sure. That's coming up shortly as well. I have another 1 or 2 programs that I already have planned, and I'll be connecting with you, shortly with those two. Just keep posted on my page, the Angeles Colon, Transpsychic Express, and I will be posting when the next programs are coming up. So on that note, everyone continue to have a wonderful Thanksgiving Day, weekend, holiday extravaganza. Enjoy every moment. May wonderful, beautiful things happen for you, continue to happen. Have hope, have love, have faith. Enjoy. Lift yourselves up. You're the only ones who can do that. Nobody else can do that for you. Lift yourselves up. Clarity comes. Enjoy, embrace yourselves in love. And on that note, blessings to you for the weekend. Enjoy all the holiday weekend and everything to come. I'll see you soon. Blessings to you always. And good night. Mwah. And I'll see you again real soon. Take care. Mwah.